everybody. Welcome to our Founders Friday live on Facebook. I am joined with Zane, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what's happening in the office and just give you an update. But really, Zane, and there really isn't much happening in the office. Everything's good. It's Friday, right? We're just getting through the day. But really, what today is, and what Zane is great at, is giving us these inspirational stories and motivation and excitement. So we're getting to the end of the month. We're getting to the end of the month. We want you to go out of January with a bang and do the best you can. And so I'm going to turn it over to Zane, and he's going to talk with you for a few minutes. Go, Zane.
I don't know if I'm good at inspirational stories. I just have had some experiences in life. And when you have experiences, it just helps you, right? And gives you experience. And so one of my favorite experiences is I'll share this story. It is a story, and it's something that influenced me and has influenced me in my life. There was a guy that I knew that was a baseball player. I grew up playing baseball. It was my love. It was my passion. I loved it. It's what I wanted to do. And he was a baseball player. That was his first love. He was really, really good at baseball. And because he was so good at baseball, he got drafted and actually played. He was working kind of his way up through the minor leagues. He played in college, and then I'm pretty sure I got this part right, but he was playing. I think he was playing for the White Sox, if I remember. And he played third base, and wasn't in the bigs yet, but he was in the minor leagues. And the guy slid into third and ruptured his Achilles, and it ultimately just ruined his career. It was a career-ending injury, which was really sad. And so he goes home, and his passion is gone. His number one passion is gone. And so he's kind of devastated, but he's also, the other thing he's pretty good at is he's pretty good at making people laugh. And he could make everybody in the dugout laugh and have fun. And he would do these impersonations of people, and everybody thought it was pretty funny. And so he thought, maybe I can turn this into a career. And so he started working in the local comedy clubs and doing gigs. And he ends up getting an opportunity to do a stint in Vegas when the Stratosphere opened. They were looking for headliners, and so they were, looking at having different people come, and he would do his kind of comedy routine. And he had a little stint there for a while, and then went over to the Rio when the Rio was there. But he kept hoping he wanted a full-time gig. He's like, I just want a full-time gig. I want to do something full-time. And he'd always get these short stints, and this is before the days of the internet, right? So there wasn't really YouTube. You had to go see people live, and so word was kind of spreading that he was fairly good. And of course, there's talent scouts always looking for the next big thing. And Steve Wynn always wanted to have the best talent in Vegas. He brought Cirque du Soleil to Vegas, and so at that time he owned, the Mirage. He owned Treasure Island. He owned the Bellagio, and so he's got this series of casinos. And he's always bringing in talent. And at the time, at the Mirage, he had Siegfried and Roy. They were the headliner. At Treasure Island, they had the Cirque du Soleil, so called Mystère. And at the Bellagio, they had O, right? And so he already had his headliners there. He was kind of maybe looking for the golden nugget. But, his talent, people always out looking. And this talent scout sees him. And actually what had happened was a different talent scout had seen him and said, hey, I'm going to give you, he walked up to him and said, I'm going to give you the chance of a lifetime. You're going to get if you want to, we're looking for an opening act to open for the biggest name in comedy. And the biggest name in comedy at that time, obviously not today, right? It's got some issues, but it was Bill Cosby. And so they give him like a week stint. If I remember right, Bill's performed at the MGM Grand. And so they're like, you can open for Cosby. You got 20 minutes to open his show. And so he went out. And the very first night he killed it. 20 minutes. And Bill Cosby had never heard it. And Cosby comes out on stage. He got a standing ovation, opening act, standing ovation. Cosby comes out and says, hey, this kid's incredible. Like, this is amazing. What if we give him some of my time? Let him go a little longer. And the crowd, they go crazy. And so he performs. And so every night Cosby gave him extra time. And because of that, he got seen. And he got seen by one of Steve Wynn's talent scouts. And so he goes back home to California, and he's back. And he told his parents were, he was kind of frustrated. He said, I want two things. I want a long-term deal. And I think I'm worth $1 million. His parents were kind of like, what do you want out of life? And he's like, I want a long-term deal. And I think I'm worth $1 million. And his parents are like, kind of, you just, that's dreaming big, and that's okay. But, you know, you're probably not worth $1 million. You might be worth a couple $100,000 a year, but you're not worth $1 million. And so he gets a phone call from this talent scout who says, hey, you know, I saw your performance with Cosby's thing. I want you to come and meet Steve Wynn wants to meet you. That's pretty awesome. So he drives from LA to Vegas, and he said, and the whole way there, he kept looking in the rearview mirror, and he would see himself. He turned the mirror so he could see himself. He said, I'd look in the mirror and I'd see myself and I'd say, you're worth $1 million. And, you know, he's trying to convince himself that he's worth $1 million. And so he gets there, he takes the elevator up, he goes in, he said, he walks into Steve Wynn's office, and Steve Wynn says, kid, I'm going to cut right to the chase. I think you're a star in the making. I think I can make you that star. I want to know what it's going to take for you to headline one of my casinos. And then he stopped and he said, but I want you to know that this is a commitment. So I want you to sign a 10-year deal. I want a 10-year contract. And so, you know, there's the first thing, right? It's like he got his contract, which was pretty cool. So he does the math in his head really quick. He's like, you know, 10 years, I'm worth $1 million a year. And he says $10 million. And Steve Wynn said, okay, cool, done. I think it was that fast. He said, we'll write up the contracts, you know, go enjoy your weekend here. We'll write up the contracts, we'll have a dance room later. So, you know, he's like amazed. He gets in the elevator, he calls his parents. He's like, I got a 10-year deal, and, you know, it's going to start, they're going to build me my own showroom. It's going to start in a few months. And they're going to pay me $1 million a year. And his parents were ecstatic for him. They were so happy for him. He ends up getting the contract, comes down to him. And when he opens up the contract, he looks at it. The contract was for 10 years, and it was for $10 million a year. Steve Wynn thought he meant 10 million a year, not 10 million total. Now, the bottom line is, he was such a great performer, and Steve Wynn saw more in him than he could see in himself. And sometimes even like his parents could see in him, right? Not that his parents didn't love him and think he was great, but, you know, we're around those people all the time, and it took somebody special to see something extra in him. So Danny Gans was the #1 performer in Vegas all 10 years of that contract. Now, he died a while ago. He had a heart condition, and he passed away. Danny was a great golfer, a good friend, and an awesome guy. And he was an incredible performer. If you ever had a chance to see him, he was incredible. And, you know, it's just interesting how we sell ourselves short. So 2022, you know, we want it to be a great year. We want it to be a great year in Sukavu. We want you to achieve whatever you want to achieve, and to reach out. And we want to see you as a $10 million a year, not as $1 million a year. And we love and support you. I have a great wife who sees more in me than I see in myself. I know that. So, you know, we can do great things together. And I'm so excited to continue this journey, and for some of the new things that we're excited to share with you guys. So we're going to go to Vegas, and we're going to have a good time. And Deshelle can talk more about that. But my message to you is just don't sell yourself short.
Thank you. This is why Zane, he's had the life experiences, and you have a way of just sharing things that move us. That's a story I've heard a time or two from you, and I still get touched every time you say it. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I am not going to give the details of Vegas right now, but that was very fitting that you shared that story of Danny Gans in Las Vegas, because that is what we're going to be doing starting in February 1st. We're starting a promotion to get us to Vegas, and so we're super excited about it. We want to get as many people there as possible. We're going to do some really fun things, and if you know Zane and you know his love of and his time there, I mean, he worked in Vegas for many years and has connections and loves the area down there. And so it's going to be a fun weekend. So it's not just come to Vegas and we're going to put you up in a hotel or pay your flights to get here. We're going to show you a good time while you're there as well. So we're really excited about it. I will be announcing all of the requirements and all the parameters on Monday, on our Monday live at 11 o'clock. We'll be presenting that. So get excited. There's going to be some really, really fun things to do, and it's very achievable, and we're going to train you and help you along the way to get you there, because we want as many people there as possible. So that, and too bad Danny Gans isn't there anymore, but there are some other amazing entertainers there, shows and restaurants. I mean, to be honest, did not know the potential of Vegas before I met Zane, because I I'm not a gambler. I didn't spend much time down on the strip. And he showed me a different side. There's so much fun, so many fun things to do down there, and the restaurants and the food and the entertainment. It's a lot of fun. So we want to have a good time and have a good weekend there. So plan on that. We did do a schedule change. I will tell you this, if you've stuck around this long in the live, you're going to hear this schedule change and I'll announce it. So we originally talked about May 2020 to 22, but we're changing it to the weekend before. It's going to be May 13 through 15. And we're changing it because there's this giant rave happening that weekend in Las Vegas out at the Motor Speedway, which it makes it just even more crazy and ridiculous in Vegas. And so we're going to avoid that. So it's the weekend of May 13 through 15. So if you've marked your calendar, I hope you did it in pencil, change it over to 13-15, because that's when we're going to go. So more details on Monday. Thanks for jumping on here and watching us. And we're grateful for all of you and all the hard work that you guys put in every day. So keep it up, and please don't hesitate to reach out to either of us, to Tammy at support, to Brooke, anything if you need help or anything as you're on your journey. So thanks everybody. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.